Okay, bartenders, now I'm going to show you guys how to do a tune-up kit. This will actually work for a 428, 430, and a 432. Before you get started, what you want to make sure is you're working on a clean work surface. I've got a cutting board here. I also want to make sure that I've got gloves. I'm going to put these on. And I'm going to break out the package here, kind of show you what comes in it. You're going to need lube. This is food grade. Here's what the kit comes with. The directions are great, at least for locations of the different parts. I'm going to show you obviously in the video in more detail. Here's the tool that they use to actually remove the O-rings. I'll show you how that's worked. This is a gasket that goes on the front door. This actually is a seal that goes on the drive shaft. This is a bearing that actually goes on the front door. And then you have some O-rings in here. These two orange red ones. These actually go on the draw that actually goes inside the door. This larger black one goes on the back of the drive shaft. This smaller black one goes on the front of the torque arm. And this little bushing goes on the back of the torque arm. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to kind of leave these here. I'm going to disassemble the machine. I'm going to show you how I kind of separate the parts here. So A, we don't lose them. And then B, I'll set them down here and then show you how to disassemble them and put them back together with the new kit. So what you'll do, you're going to take off the nuts here. I always put the small parts in a little container so they don't run off anywhere. And then you're going to take this little torque arm, you're going to push it to the right over the top and then slide it straight up. And then it'll feed down through the door. That's good. Now what will happen is this door will come off. You just want to pull it off gently because a lot of times the torque arm on the inside is still assembled. This is the bushing that's in the back, or bearing they call it. This is called the torque arm assembly. This has one of the gaskets on it. This is the door assembly. I'm going to show you guys how to take that apart. Now you're going to take out, this is the beater assembly. This doesn't require any quarterly service, but I would say once every 6 months you're going to want to replace the blades. So we'll leave this one aside. I'll leave it here actually. And then this is the drive shaft. Pull that out and show you how this works. So let's work backwards in. So with the drive shaft, you've got the boot and you've got this one O-ring that's on the back of it. You can take the boot off. This little tool you kind of slip underneath the O-ring. Gives it a little space. Stretch it out and pull it forward. Then we'll work in reverse. We'll put the new O-ring on. Slide it over. Make sure it's not curled and fit in place. And then we'll take this boot and we'll add that to the top as well. Now, this is actually, as far as the tune-up kit's concerned, this is good to go. What you'll want to do is you're going to put a little bit of lube on it. I like to squeeze it right out of the tube and put it on there because this stuff is pretty sticky once you get it on your hand. And then I like to put a little dab right here in this boot. And then as this spins, it'll actually spread that around. So that's actually good. Now, when you go to put this in, there's a lock. You're going to have to push and turn it until it actually sets inside. And you'll watch it. You'll see it as I'm turning here. There it goes. And it's locked in. So we're good. Shouldn't rotate either way. So from here, let's go to the these other parts here. First one, or the next one I should say, we can actually put the beater assembly in, which I'm going to do now. We'll put this in. Now we're going to go to this torque arm. Again, it's got the small black O-ring on it. We're going to use this little tool here to finagle it off. Like that. There we go. No, not quite. This one's stubborn, it's tiny. And once we take that off, then we'll put the new one back on. Once this is in place, you're going to hit this with just a little bit of lube. Spread that around because this rotates. From here, you'll see there's an opening for the torque arm pin that goes on the outside of the door. You want to make sure that's facing up. The next thing is this is the old bearing in the back. Here's the new one. This slides on. And then we're going to line this up with the hole in the drive shaft in the back of the machine. Again, once it's in, double check. Make sure your holes are at 12 and 6 o'clock. Now from here, let's work on this door assembly. Pull this off. This is the front bearing, if you will. This gasket is the door gasket. It does not need lube. We'll put that on last. Now I'm going to show you how to take this apart. This is the pin for the handle. This is your handle here. This has a locking system in it. You'll see this has got a cutout on it. So basically you always put the door handle in first, then put the pin in and then turn it until it's locked. So we'll do it in reverse here. Take this apart. Now, this gets tricky. This is called the ice buster. We need to get this out. Okay, to get this out, this has a slot that's inside this valve. So to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to push this from the bottom up just enough so that you can turn this with your fingers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, turn it upside down. I'm going to catch this in my hand as I turn this, and then it falls out. Okay? Set that aside. Now what you can do is you can push this all the way through. Again, we're back to the O-ring removal. Take that one off. Take off the second one. This is going to jump into this second one again. You're going to do this one twice. All right, now we'll put on the new ones. I'm going to actually get tricky and kind of go from the back side on this one. So we'll start up here and we'll slide it down in place. And then I'll go and put this one here at the bottom. Again, I'm going to hit this with a little bit of lube. This will make sure that the door slides nicely as you're pulling your drinks. So what I want to point out to you here, so you kind of have a better understanding, in the bottom here, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see this is where the ice buster actually slides into. You'll see that it has 2 flat sides to it and then 2 round sides to it. So it kind of gives you an idea what you're working with when you're putting it back in. So start it, push it back in from the top. Again, what I'm going to look for is just where that ice buster is supposed to slide into. Make sure that that's showing so I can still turn this from the top. I'm going to take the ice buster. I want to set it in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this gently until it just drops in like that. Once it drops in, what you want to do is you want to turn it past this point a little bit. So then this way it doesn't come out again. All right. Now I can push this down. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the hole for the handle. So the hole for the handle it's wandering around in here, but it's right there. I can see it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this in there. All right, and then I'm going to turn it so it goes all the way down gently. And then you're going to take the pin for the handle, put it in there, let it set, turn the handle, and then it drops in, and that means the handle's locked in. This should never be a pressure situation. You shouldn't have to jam the pin in, and you shouldn't have to jam the handle either. Once you've done that, go in the back, put this gasket on. This is not a moving part. I don't put any lube on this, even though it's a gasket ring. And then we'll put on the front bearing. front bearing's on. Now, go back in, gently line this up so it doesn't turn it. Push this forward, all right? Now from here, what you can do, put your nuts back on. When you are getting ready to tighten these up, do not use a towel. What I'd like to see you do is make sure you snug it up by hand. Don't over tighten these. If you notice, I'm not really torquing down on them. I'm just making it snug. You want them just snug enough so it doesn't leak, okay? If it starts to seep a little bit at the bottom, then just snug it up a little bit more. Last thing is the torque arm. I'm going to feed this through the front of the door. I'm going to line it up in the top here with this hole in the spring. You're going to push it to the right just a little bit to give you a play, and then you're going to put it in the front hole there of the torque arm. And there you got it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do our tune-up kits. Thanks. Have a good day.